I know I'm blessed, and I close my eyes and smile. Sometimes I feel like the richest man in Babylon, and I've done my best, so everything's alright inside. Every morning I rise, I stare at the sun. I know it is a blessing.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of You Voices. Of course, I am your host, Miss Edisa Eugene, and it's definitely always a pleasure to be back with you every Thursday having our great discussions. Of course, today is definitely nothing different as we continue to celebrate our Youth Month, although it is basically the last Thursday in the month of April. We continue to celebrate our young persons. Today, we have another young woman in our virtual studio joining us this afternoon, and she is the president of the Castries is Youth and Sports Council, and she goes by the name of Miss Andricia Octave. Of course, we want to say a special thank you to Miss Octave for taking time out of her day to join us in studio today. So good afternoon to you, Miss Octave.
Hi, good afternoon, Edisa. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Um, it's definitely a pleasure to have you on You Voices. I know this is new to you being on our show. However, I can promise you that this afternoon we'll have a great discussion.
Okay, awesome.
Yes. So as we move along, of course, let me take some time again just to welcome our listeners via radio on Facebook if you're viewing us on there, as well as via YouTube. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And I hope that you all will be inspired by Miss Octave this afternoon as she tells us a little about herself and also the work that she has been doing in her constituency. So, Miss Octave, just to start it off for our listeners this afternoon, I want you to just go ahead and let us know a little about who is Miss Andricia Octave.
Okay, just to make sure that I heard you clearly, you said that just go ahead and give a little bit of an introduction on myself, correct?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Yes, good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, St. Lucia, and all our listeners. My name is Andrissa Octave. I am a mom of two beautiful young ladies. I am the president of the Castries East Youth and Sports Council, and I am also an entrepreneur by I'll say by night and day, but it's more of my side hustle. I am somebody who enjoys youth development, personal development, and just improving the way of life of everybody that I meet. And that's my short intro.
So, of course, in a nutshell, we can definitely see that you are very much involved in your community. And even though that you are a mom, you still find the time to be instrumental in the life of others.
Mhm.
So that is definitely commendable. So, Miss Octave, again, we are going to just have a discussion first about who you are, what you have been doing, then for us to divert into the discussion of our youth month activities and what person should expect in the coming months. Okay?
Okay, no problem. So on constituency basis, one of the things that we have in planning right now for Youth Month is actually a panel discussion. The topic we have not decided as yet, nor have we decided what date it is, but we know that's one of the things that we'll be doing. The reason for that is because we realize that giving youth a platform to air their opinions, to have discussions about things that are important to them, are vital in the growth and development of young people. So we decided one of the best ways to give them that platform is to actually host a panel discussion that could be listened to by youth of St. Lucia and even older persons. When we're talking about older person, we're talking about the elderly, middle-aged persons, moms, dads, parents, teachers, ministers, you name it. But we just want to go ahead and give them an opportunity to listen. To celebrate Youth Month, what we did do was have an Easter egg hunt. So that happened about 2 Saturdays ago. It was for persons within the age range of 8 to 14. We did have persons who were a little older and persons who were a little younger, but I could say that it was a very successful event, and the young people from our community did go ahead and have a good time.
Of
Um,
course, you have mentioned a few so far. So, of course, just to our listeners just joining us, just to let you know, we have Miss Andricia Octave with us this afternoon, who is the president of East Youth and Sports Council. So far, she has told us who she is and what they have been doing thus far. And so we will continue with this session with Miss Octave. However, we'll be going for a short break. So when we return, we'll go more into depth as to what has been going on. And yes, let her inspire you.
Superior Jazz is back on Sunday, May 7th, 2023. The perfect vibe with the perfect setting under the Beatles. Jazz, Sammy, Arthur Blair, Bill Gibson, headliner Christopher Martin, don't let me cheat on you, and soca sensation Patrice Roberts. Early bird tickets EC and VIP tickets 300 EC. Get your tickets at all sale outlets, Steve Barbershop, and the Sophia Regional Development Foundation. Follow Sophia Jazz the Experience on Facebook for more information. Children under 12 are free. No smoking allowed.
Super Jazz 2023 is brought to you by Platinum Sponsors, SLTA at Chestnut Group Mountain, Sugar Beach of Viceroy, Lismore, Newport Coconut, Gold Farmstead, Franca St. Lucie, GBH, Silver MC Town, Bronze Sponsor, WJ Montgomery, Business Sponsors, Kai Blanc, Intercaribbean Airways, Heineken St. Lucia, Lewis Industries, Truman's Reserve, Digicel, Yellow Media, Choiseul Cooperative Credit Union, Court St. Lucia, Blue Select, Media Partners, 88.5 Sufra FM, NBC Real FM, Hot FM, Kiss FM, Hot 7 TV, The Wave, Blazing and Rhythm FM, DBS, HDS Radio 100, Cam Advertising, and Radio Caribbean International.
Looking for a Friday night lime? Cool Joint Disco in Victoria Choiseul presents Friday Night Cockfights this Friday and every Friday from 7 p.m. onwards.
Enjoy our drink specials. Campari 2 for 10 and 1 for 6. Guinness 2 for 10 and 1 for 6. Pito Bear 4 for 15. Bounty Rum 2 for 6 and 1 for $4. Heineken cans $5. This and every Friday. Waiting time 7 p.m. Tell a friend to tell a friend to bring a friend over at Cool Joints Disco in Victoria Choiseul.
Start the new year right with extra cash when you take your next Quartz Ready Cash loan. Get $100 Quartz cash with your $5,000 loan and double the rewards with your next loan of $8,000 or over. Get your loan now and pay nothing down and get 30 days to make your first installment. Plus, hassle-free service, flexible payment terms, and 24-hour approval. All you need to apply is your ID, proof of address, payslip, references, and a job letter. Let's ring in the new year with some extra cash from Quartz Ready Cash. Conditions apply. Quartz Ready Cash. We are ready when you are.
www.shopmasseystoresSLU.com. It's Massey Stores online supermarket where you shop and pay for your groceries online. Try it today and get double points when you shop online. It's simple and convenient. Choose delivery to your doorstep with quick delivery or collect curbside, which is absolutely free. Massey Stores online supermarket. Shop now.
Welcome to Youth Voices with your host, Miss Edisa Eugene, where we focus on youth advocacy, youth empowerment in academics, entrepreneurship, sports, marginalized youth, and more. Tune in every Thursday from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. Youth Month 2022. Devant un somme et toute jeunesse. Evolve. Growing youth for an inclusive and transformed society. Are you ready?
When I look at where I'm coming from, I know I'm blessed, and I close my eyes and smile. Sometimes I feel like the richest man in Babylon.
Yes, and we are back. Thank you to all of you who stayed tuned in, of course, to your voices. So this afternoon, again, we have with us Miss Andricia Octave, who is the president of the Castries East Youth and Sports Council. So, of course, Miss Octave, are you back with us?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you clearly. Great.
Okay,
So,
awesome.
you have mentioned a few of the activities that we should expect and what has happened. However, I do not want us to go into that as yet. I just want you to take some
Mhm.
time as well and let our listeners know, with you being the president of the Castries East and the Castries East president, right?
Mhm.
Let us know a little about what is your role and what we should expect from you.
Okay, so as president of the Castries East Youth and Sports Council, I'm hoping that persons will be able to hear more about Castries East, more about some of the plans and ideas that we have for development of the constituency, for development of our youth, and just get to know us a little better. I hope that they will get more collaboration from us with the different DYSCs, especially as a new council coming into the youth space.
Right?
All of the things that we've realized is that we need to collaborate. We cannot develop the youth on our own, and it's important for us to get to know our peers and our fellow organizations.
Okay, great. And you did mention that you guys, you are a new council, right?
Yes, we are.
Just share with us how long have you been in existence?
Okay, so we were reactivated early last year. I'm sorry, are you getting a feedback on my end?
No, I am hearing you clearly now.
Okay, so I think it's on, that's my issue, but that's fine. Um, yes, we were reactivated early last year, and for about 9 to 10 months, we had an interim council where the interim president was Abigail Atkinson. So they pretty much laid the foundation down for us. So when we had our first official biennial election, which was the last year, December 17th, then I went ahead and vied for the position of president and won. So from there, it has been pretty much building on the foundation that they have already set and setting more of a permanent structure in place for success.
Okay. And congratulations to you and your team.
Thank
You
you very
guys
much.
have been doing some great work so far. I see your name all over, and that is nice again as a new council that you are already out there. So I want to know what is your secret recipe when it comes to mobilization in your constituency. Tell us a little about that.
One of the things that I was advised, and not only just advised from other persons, but as a young person and observing politicians, politics, governments, ministers, everything, is that they go ahead and they set activities for us and they do things on our behalf, but they don't take into consideration what we want.
Right.
And that sounds like a little bit weird, right? But the thing about it, it's true. People will sit in spaces, in enclosed spaces, in offices, in conference rooms, and plan activities on our behalf, but they never take the conversation to us. And one of the things that I was advised is that make sure you go to the young people. And coming into office as a president, I ensured that before any of our activities were planned or we created a calendar of activities or plan any programs or projects for development, we went to our youth. So the month of January was basically a month to collect information, to go to the streets. We had a walkthrough. It took 2 days, 2 days to go through every single community within our constituency to make sure that we had those conversations with our youth. And based off the information that we got, that's when we went ahead and planned some of our activities to execute.
Okay. And that is definitely a commendable approach. And I want to agree with you because too many times you realize persons, even with organizations, persons go ahead putting plans together but not consulting the persons that they're even trying to impact. And it is
Exactly.
nice to see that your executive, you take on the initiative to do community walkthroughs, which is something that a lot of persons don't do, lazy to do. And knowing the way that you go about doing it with your executive, that is definitely creative. of Castries, and she is here inspiring other young persons when it comes to youth empowerment. Also, let me just remind you that this year is known as Year of the Youth. And so we are even going under the theme empowering our youth for peace, unity, and a safer society. Great.
Definitely.
So, with these words, with our theme for this year, Miss Andrisa, of
Mhm.
course, let me just one more time empowering our youth for peace, unity, and a safer society. What does that mean to you?
For me, what that means is creating safe spaces for our youth to express themselves freely without judgment. Providing training and different development projects that gives them the skills to go out into society and deal with any issue that they may face. For example, about 2 weeks ago, I took part in a training with USAID and the Ministry of Youth Development for conflict resolution. And in 1 week, I learned so much. I learned how to do a pair mediation, and that's in if two persons from a school or an organization are having issues, that they can have another colleague actually intervene on their behalf and sit the two of
Right.
them down once they agree to just have the conversation. So for me, it's giving our youth these skill sets to actually go through life and have a very positive impact on friends, neighbors, parents, whoever that they may encounter within the wider society.
Okay, great. And so, of course, I really like the way that you summed it up for us. It's basically what it is, empowering our young persons in different areas just to ensure that our communities are safer, our communities are at peace, and we all are working together in order to achieve one goal. So kudos to you for letting us know how you feel about this film. I am definitely 100% in agreement that this is the best film for this year, especially knowing with the crisis that has been going on in our community of youth fought. I
Yeah,
believe this film is fitting in order for us to try our best to mitigate the whole crime situation in our communities.
I agree with
So,
you.
with that, when it comes to the Castries East Youth and Sports Council, tell us a little about what you will be doing in the coming months in order to empower your young persons.
Okay, so um, I'm going to take you back, way, way back. Castries East was known, or what people used to call the capital of Castries. When I say that, we're not talking about Castries City, yeah? No. We're talking
Okay.
about the Castries East, that you're talking about Marsha, Entrepot, these areas, these places. Castries was basically known as the city center where everything happened. When you had events, it was at the Mindu Philip Park. When you had carnival, it was at the Mindu Philip Park. Everything took place within the Mindu Philip Park. And what we're trying to do this year, going into next year, is bring that kind of vibe back, but take it through the youth, as in give them opportunities to explore their talents and express their talents, put events together where we know we have so many persons right now who are into creative industries, give them a platform to express themselves. So our activities and projects are centered around the development of the youth. So we encountered a number of persons who wanted business training. So we're looking to plan a business training for them in June, especially now with the youth economy at our fingertips. So we're looking to get them to come within the Castries East, speak to them about what's going on, and bring the opportunity to the youth. Because sometimes we know being part of the youth space, some of them don't want to get up and go out and look for it. So to
Right.
ensure that we meet the people who need the opportunities, we're giving them the opportunity. Look, here it is. We're bringing it to you. So now you need to go ahead and take the step to come to the opportunity. You don't have to walk too far from it because it's in your home, it's in your backyard. So here you go. Here is the opportunity. Come, go through the processes, learn, because at the end of the day, we can only do so much. So what we're now trying to do is basically turn Castries East into an opportunity hub for the youth within the constituency.
Okay. And of course, it is nice that you guys think very differently. Because in many other constituencies, you get persons providing opportunities, but they really don't bring it even closer to the table. Like they drop it on the table, and if you want it, you come to grab it. But then with you on your end, we see that you are really trying to force it onto them like, hey, this is for you, so here you go, because you know the culture of your young persons already. You know that they are not the type to just come and walk to say, I would like a job in a hotel. No.
No,
But you know that your young persons, they are actually willing to do so. So you are bringing it to them. So that too is commendable. So kudos to you and your executive. That is definitely a great approach. Although
thank
it
you.
has its pros and its cons,
It
of
does, it does.
I still want to take some time to just say, keep up the good work. And I really hope that this helps when it comes to changing the face and mindsets of persons when it comes to Castries East.
Thank
Right?
you.
And of course, Miss Octave, with that, um, can you let us know so far what opportunities have you been able to provide for the persons within your constituency?
Okay, so the what I'm about to say, it's not a conversation that I've had with them as yet.
Okay.
But I'm hoping that maybe one or two of them are listening in and they would hear what I have to say. Um, when we went through one of our walkthroughs, we met a group of young men from Bocage, and they're into agriculture. You know, right now, agri-processing is a big thing within St. Lucia, and a lot of people are now starting to go into the agro industry.
Right.
So we met a young man who has a chicken farm, and he explained to us that he is willing to teach other young persons within the constituency to start their own chicken farms or learn how to take care of the chickens and stuff. Basically, build a business out of it. So one of the things that and it was a promise, and I take my promises personally very seriously, and I promised him personally that we will ensure that we create a space for them, for him, so that he can go ahead and teach them that. Another thing that we are trying to do, well, in the process of doing, is to go ahead and start a cackle farm in Castries East. They expressed interest in wanting to plant produce. So I said, okay, what we're going to do is reach out to Ministry of Agriculture, find out what trainings that they have available, and what they did have available is a cocoa training. So they're looking to develop the cocoa industry so that they could export it. And I looked at it as a step in the right direction in terms of farming. And right now we are in conversation with one of the persons within Ministry of Agriculture to spearhead a training for persons within Castries East. So that's one of the major things that we promised to do that we are currently working on right now.
Okay. So again, that is definitely commendable, seeing that you are even collaborating with different ministries in order to get your work done. That is definitely a good approach. And two, going into agriculture though, a lot of persons shy away from it. However, with you seeing that is something that your young persons are interested in, it's nice to see that your approach is very different. I mean, so many times, like I've said before, persons view
Mhm.
agriculture as something that is for poor individuals. However, agriculture actually has more to it. And so,
It does.
to the persons who are listening from Castries East, I could definitely tell you that this is something that you should be looking forward to. Um, don't shy away from it. You could become anything you want when it comes to agriculture. To me, it is needed in everything that you do. So, of course, take advantage of this opportunity, and I really hope that everything goes well on your end. So, while
Thank
we
you.
continue to speak about what you have been doing, Miss Octave, and what you continue to do, of course, knowing
Hmm.
that it's year of the youth, I realized that a flyer was posted where they will be having a walk for peace on the weekend, where I believe the DUISs from the Castries Basin will be mainly involved in that organization of the walk. So, um, just a question: is your council solely involved as well?
Yes, my council is involved in the planning of the Walk for Peace that is in collaboration with the Ministry of Youth Development and Sports and the National Youth Council. So we have been providing support in going ahead and plan the event, and there's a lot in store on that day.
Okay, so mentioning that there is a lot in store, I'm pretty sure a lot of persons are a bit curious as to what is Work for Peace. Maybe this is the first time some of our listeners are even hearing about it. So just go ahead and advertise. Let persons know what is Work for Peace, why and how did it came about, and how do you wish to achieve this over the weekend?
Okay, so as you mentioned earlier, April was declared Youth Month. And throughout April, there was series of activities and projects taking place. Um, this weekend seems to be a very packed weekend for DYSCs, the ministry, and other youth groups around St. Lucia. We have on Sunday from 6 to 11, as you mentioned, a walk for peace. You mentioned our slogan for Youth Month this month to unite our youth for peace and unity. And
Right.
just in keeping with that slogan, we decided to close off Youth Month with a walk for peace. That walk will commence at Mega J parking lot and go down the highway through to Jeremy Street and end at the Digi complex. There at the complex, folks could come in if you have any creative talent like singing, poetry, or if you're a youth leader yourself or a member of the youth space, we have an open mic where you can go ahead and come and then just share a few positive words, share what your thought process is on the youth space. You know, anything that you have to say to encourage your young people in St. Lucia, you can go ahead and share your opinion, right? In addition to that, we will be going ahead and have games playing. So we have volleyball, netball, basketball, and football. There will also be instant drinks and sales. Now, when people hear walk for peace, you think of just walking from one place to another and it's boring. No, we're actually going to have a soundtrack. Now, our soundtrack is not going to have what people call bacchanal music per se,
Right.
but it will
Mm-hmm.
be positive music to encourage the youth in positivity. You understand? So that is from 6 to 11. Again, it's free. We're asking that our youth wear a touch of orange on that morning because the color designated for Youth Month is orange. In addition to that, the Roseau Valley Youth Group will also be having a business expo that same day. It's happening later in the day around 12 o'clock. So if you're within the Marigo Roseau area, please feel free to go on the Marigo field and support. There will be young persons who have businesses who will be exposing their business, letting you know what they're doing. So the weekend is pretty much a fun-filled weekend.
Yeah, and thank you so much for letting us know a little more about the Rosa Valley Expo. I will be touching based on that in a few. But let's go back a little to the Walk for Peace though. Of course you mentioned that
Mm-hmm.
like persons to wear a touch of orange, it is free of charge. So basically it is open
Yes,
for
it is.
everyone. However,
Everyone.
just one
Mm-hmm.
question. In terms of age, is there an age a specific age that it is targeted to, or from time you believe to be youthful, you could come on board?
No, we have no specific age. It is a walk organized by youth, but it's not just for the youth. We're asking parents, grandparents, babies. If you don't mind carrying your babies onto the walk, you can bring them. We just want people to come out in solidarity to just rally together for peace, for unity, for love, for positivity. Once you're available on that day and you don't mind walking with us, come meet us at the Massey Mega car park and we'll just rally together. So no age. We're this time it's open to the general public. So as mentioned again, once you're available, come with your touch of yellow. If you're from a youth club, a football club, a veterans football club, or any sports club, any organization focus on development. If you're just a regular everyday person, maybe that's not where your focus is, but you see the need for it and you understand the message behind the walk, just join us. Join us Sunday morning at the Mega Massive car park.
Of course. So thank you so much for that, Miss Octave. To those of you listening, of course, I am excited. I'm not sure about you, but I know I will be present. I'm really coming for the music and the good vibes and definitely to win some prizes. And so I'm encouraging everyone who can make it, you should make it. Be there, come have some fun, come and mingle, build up your network. And of course, this would be a great opportunity for you to even express yourself in different ways. And it is nice to see that, of course, the Ministry of Youth Development and Sports, in collaboration with the DYCs as well as the National Youth Council, has decided to take on this initiative, knowing the situation of the public so far. And
Mhm.
yes, of course, like it is always said, the young persons are the future of tomorrow. However, I believe we are the future of today because look around. We are already the ones leading out, taking up the mantle, walking through our communities, letting persons know that we do not support this crime situation and we would
Mhm.
like it to be under control. So, of course, again, kudos to the Ministry of Youth Development and Sports, the National Youth Council, as well as the UISCs who will be
Mhm.
part of this initiative over the weekend. Also, with
Yes,
that, you
definitely.
mentioned the Roseau Valley Expo. Definitely
Mhm.
looking forward to this one as well. Of course, it happened last year. It was phenomenal. And so this
Mhm.
promises to be bigger and better. So, of course, just some exciting news. Location, the Marigo playing field. It is from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. And you have live performances as well. You know, you forgot to mention that, Miss Octave. We have live
Oh, how can I
performances.
forget?
Yes, we have live performances by Mata, J Mouse, Visioban, Mark Bullet, and we have DJ Big Mac. So, of course, it's definitely going to be a big event that everybody should come out to support our small businesses. It's not only for persons within the Roseau Valley Basin. I believe it was opened to other persons who showed interest because, of course, as a business owner, I am coming all the way from Sufret to be present. So come out, come to support our young persons. Definitely, our young persons are the shakers and the movers of our society. So
Correct.
they're doing great things. So let us continue to show our love, our support, and kudos to Miss Nizan Hutchinson though on this one. She and her
Definitely,
executives, they've
definitely.
worked so hard in ensuring that this came through for our young persons. So kudos to you, Miss Hutchinson, if you are listening to the RV Alliance, I believe is the name of the group. Kudos to
Yes.
you as well. You guys have been doing a great job so far.
Yes,
And
they
so,
have.
Miss Andrisa, you did mention too that you have been involved in so much. You mentioned that you did the training with USAID in
Mm-hmm.
collaboration with the ministry, right?
Yes.
And it was mainly about what? Just tell us a little about this workshop and how did it go for you and how it even impacted you as an individual.
Okay, so the workshop that we had, it was called the Training of Trainers. It was actually for an Easter camp that USAID, in collaboration with the ministry, put together. At the workshop, we learned about peer mediation, the different learning styles. We learned about leadership. Now, as somebody in the youth space who is a youth leader, there was a lot to learn. Even if some of the information that I already knew, imagine being in a space other youth leaders and you are learning what other people's experiences are and maybe some of the things that you did not even encounter as yet as yourself. So you get those experiences, you get that information, so you know when or if you do ever encounter any situation or situations, and most times you do, you have something to fall back on. So it really did increase my knowledge as a youth leader, and it really I did come out better than I went in.
Great.
honestly. And the best part about it, I network. I met other people that I could then bring into my youth space within Castries East to share that same information or to provide a training here and there. So it was very impactful for me.
Okay, thank you so much for sharing that. And of course, with you having the opportunity to acquire so many skills, even build up your
Hmm.
network, and the list can go on when it comes to the positive
Definitely.
impact that you may have received. Tell us a little about how you plan to use what you got from this workshop in Castries East.
Okay, so how I plan to use it is honestly sharing the information. So one of the things that I am hoping that I will be able to do in the very near future, because May would actually be a rest month for us, in terms of do in the back end of things, working on things that we needed to do but we did not have time to do because of everything that was going on. I'm hoping to plan a training for the youth in within the constituency, where I have the manual that was given to us during the training and find a very creative way of imparting that knowledge to the youth. So for me, out of that training, that is one of my biggest goals, to use that manual to create a training that I could impart the knowledge and the knowledge and skill set that I obtained to my youth within Castries East. Especially when it, as you mentioned, the uptick in crime earlier. One of the things that I believe our youth need to learn is a positive way to resolve conflict. And the peer mediation aspect of it was really impactful. So finding a way to impact that, but maybe on a for older persons, it may require me bringing somebody with a lot more expertise in the area, but it's something that I'm willing to do.
Okay. And with that too, I would want to ask, um, in terms of the peer mediation process, right?
Hmm.
I mean, to some persons, it could be a very tedious process. Nobody really
Hmm.
wants to speak these days.
Hmm.
Knowing the culture of the Castries is environment, um,
Hmm.
many persons would just say that these are the people that you really cannot tell anything, right? Um, how do you think you would be able to really do mediation in your constituency?
Okay, so one of the things and one of the most important things about peer mediation is that you need to get consent. These people need to want to speak to each other. You
Right,
cannot, even without the peer mediation, you cannot go into any situation and you don't have the consent or agreement from the parties involved. You're just setting yourself up for failure. So I
right,
think having prior conversations with our youth, as in finding out if they actually want to learn alternative ways of dealing with problems, dealing with conflict, the interest needs to be there. So having that initial conversation will be important, and I think it would set you up for success if they do agree to learning different ways of resolving their conflict. Because it wouldn't make sense that you just go there and you just impose something on them, as we mentioned earlier, not bringing them to the table or not asking them for it. So that's one of the ways that I plan to go about doing it before I go ahead and just initiate the project. Like mentioned, it's something that I would love to do, but that does not mean the fact that I want to do it or I'd love to do it, that does not mean that it will be accepted by our youth.
true. Very good. And it is nice too that you have an open mind when it comes to approaching this because, of course, we know in St. Lucia, I think it's a St. Lucia thing. It's not just a Castries East problem. It's a St. Lucia thing where persons don't really like to speak on certain issues, especially when you're upset. You really don't want anybody coming to try and help you solve
Hmm.
any issues. However, I believe that this should be an approach used within our schools from very early.
Hmm. Definitely.
I mean, some homes they're really unable to do it. God forbid. However,
Hmm.
in our schools, I believe this should be incorporated in order to help our young persons grow and become better, respectful, and responsible persons as they grow in society.
I think that comes from when we talk about that. I think that comes from a place of self awareness, and most of us. or nearly maybe every solution that you meet, they don't know how to regulate their emotions. They
Right.
a lot of us are not self-aware. A lot of things that we do it subconsciously. So it's like if you keep biting your nails, right? And somebody say to you, but stop biting your nails. And you're like, I biting my nails, I'm not biting my nails. But you're doing something that you're not even aware of. You
Right.
understand? So bringing in the emotional intelligence and helping people to regulate their emotions and all of that, it's something that is not being done at homes. And as you rightly mentioned, it does start from home, but it has to start somewhere because some of our parents are set in their ways, some of our older persons are set in their ways, and they're not willing to change. So sometimes you have to start from the grassroots and then work your way up. But we do need to start in terms of emotional regulation, especially self-awareness, and then work our way up from there.
Okay.
That's
Thank you
my
again.
take.
Yes, thank you again so much for that, Miss Octave. And you have been able to share so much with us so far when it comes to the peer mediation workshop, when it came to your
Mm-hmm.
activities, and definitely, I know some persons are listening, and I'm hoping that our key persons are listening in order for them to understand that these approaches definitely need to be used within our schools, encourage even when it comes
Agreed.
to our churches, use it in religion, use it everywhere basically that you are able to groom a child in becoming a better young person. So, of course, to those of
Mm-hmm.
you, our listeners this afternoon, Miss Octave has been instrumental in the Castries is Youth and Sports Council in the basin. She and her executive has been doing so much, and yes,
Definitely.
their work is definitely commendable. So, of course, as we are running down with time, we are going to go for a short break, and when we return, Miss Octave will just tell us a few more words before we end and sharing with us a little more that we should know about the Castries is Youth and Sports Council. Stay tuned.
Thank you.
Sophia Jazz is back on Sunday, May 7th, 2023. The perfect vibe with the perfect setting under the Beatles. Jazz, Sammy, Arthur Alaire, Boo Hinkson, headliner Christopher Martin,
Don't let me cheat on my girlfriend.
and soca sensation Patrice Roberts.
Drink water and mind my business.
Early bird tickets 100 EC. Tickets cost 130 EC and VIP tickets 300 EC. Get your tickets at all sale outlets, Steve Barbershop, and the Sophia Regional Development Foundation. Follow Sophia Jazz the Experience on Facebook for more information.
Children under 12 are free. No smoking allowed.
My mommy protected me and my little nephew when she got vaccinated.
My doctor is protecting me. She's vaccinated.
My aunt protected me when she got vaccinated.
COVID-19 vaccines are available for people from the age of 12 years and older. Being vaccinated against the virus does not only protect you, it also makes our country safer for those who cannot receive the vaccine.
Vaccinate for you, for yours, for us.
I'm Genevieve Gonzague, and I've spent the past 2 years working the beat as a television news reporter at a national level. But my heart remained in Soufrière. Now, I'm bringing the spotlight to you in the Super FM news package. Join me every weekday at 1 p.m. for news that matters to you. We're covering the Southwest region like never before. I'm Genevieve Gonzague, and these are your headlines.
Welcome to Youth Voices with your host, Miss Edisa Eugene, where we focus on youth advocacy, youth empowerment in academics, entrepreneurship, sports, marginalized youth, and more. Tune in every Thursday from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. Youth Month 2022. Devant un somme et toute jeunesse. Evolve. Growing youth for an inclusive and transformed society. Are you ready?
When I look at where I'm coming from.
Where we say good morning to you. Welcome inside another edition of the Traffic Mix. You know how we do. Destination 2 o'clock. Hey, my name is Ulan Zimforian. And of course, we're inside this beautiful, beautiful Tuesday morning. from playing music that persons will dance to, love, enjoy, I love to be very informative. I like to inform the audience, as to what's happening around that. All right, what's trending, whether it's locally, internationally, regionally. People have to know what's happening. You understand? Certain things you might not know that's trending. Yeah, man, and that's what we're here for. Keeping you guys in the loop, letting you know what's happening. All right. I consider myself to be versatile. You understand? I'm always trying to better myself one way or another. Folks, if it's on a Monday up until a Friday, we have it covered. When I say covered, I'm talking about a traffic mix from 10 o'clock up until 2 o'clock. All genres of music, some of your favorite there is, not forgetting keeping you informed as to what's happening, what is locally, internationally, globally. We have you covered. So, tune in. Break the knob. Leave it on there. Tune in and break it, leave it.
I go by the name of Miguel Daisy. Stage name, Energy Buzz, radio name as well. What is different about my show is that it is full of energy, like my name says it all. Full of vibes. My show basically starts from 2 to 6 on a daily, Monday to Friday, Saturdays, weekly 2 to 6. It's called the Energy Drive. What it entails is I like to introduce people to new music. I like to educate them on the artists as well, what's new, what's trending in the musical industry. Right now we're 12 years in the making, and we as a team look to get bigger and stronger. I've just been doing music my entire life. I don't know anything else but music. So I could say music saved my life as well. So tune in to Super FM every single weekday from Monday to Friday with me, yours truly, Energy Buzz with the Energy Drive. You see, I'm so super excited. So this is the excitement that I want to share with you guys. So make sure you tune in to Super FM 88.5 with yours truly, Energy Buzz, 2 to 6 from Monday to Friday. Saturdays it fluctuates. You can either catch me from 9 a.m. or from 1 p.m. Alright, so make sure, share the love.
Welcome to Youth Voices with your host, Miss Edisa Eugene, where we focus on youth advocacy, youth empowerment in academics, entrepreneurship, sports, marginalized youth, and more. Tune in every Thursday from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. Youth Month 2022. Devant ensemble et toute jeunesse. Evolve. Growing youth for an inclusive and transformed society. Are you ready?
When I look at where I'm coming from, I know I'm blessed, and I close my eyes and smile.
Of course, we are back, and while we move closer to the hour of 4 p.m., we still have Miss Andricia Octave joining us in our virtual studio. Of course, so far she has shared so much with us. To those of you just joining, welcome, but you have missed so much. And Miss Octave is the president of the Castries East Youth and Sports Council. She has been doing so much with her new executive. And as they continue to do great things, as we continue to celebrate this year as the year of the youth, of course, there is so much that we should be looking forward to as a nation. So, Miss Octave, as we are coming down with time, again, to our listeners just joining us, I just want you to share in a synopsis, tell us a little about you one more time and what you have accomplished with your exec.
Okay, so for those just joining, my name is Andricia Octave, as Ms. Eugene just mentioned. I am the president of the Castries East Youth and Sports Council. By night, I am an entrepreneur. I advocate for youth. I assist in training and development wherever I can. As president of the Castries East Youth and Sports Council, we are fairly new, so we are basically the rookies. We're the new kids on the block. So right now we're planning and developing Castries East. We're looking to set up our youth for success. Some of the things that we have done is our community walkthrough, where we walk through the different communities, gather information. We are currently planning an agriculture training for youth within our constituency. We recently hosted an Easter egg hunt in celebration of Youth Month and to celebrate Easter. And we are right now planning a panel discussion and also a school activity for the grade sixes and kindergartens within the schools within Castries East.
Okay. Thank you again, Miss Octave. So you heard it, to those of you just joining us. To those of you who want to know a little more about Miss Octave, of course, she is all over social media. She will be giving you her social media handles in a few, as well as how you could reach the Castries East Youth and Sports Council. So, Miss Octave, like I
Mm-hmm.
said, we're running down with time. Like I asked
Mm-hmm.
every guest of mine, if by chance you were to meet a young person today who is scared to advocate on behalf of others, what would you say to him or her?
I would say it is okay to be scared. Fear is natural. It's something that even I, with all the people I know and all the experience that I have, I still feel it. What I would advise is that face your fear, face it head on. If the things that you are afraid to say it. The things that you are afraid to do it. And I know saying it is just one, but do it regardless. Even if it's maybe just going to the person, writing a letter or something, but find a way to express your interests. Find a way to say what you have to say, even if you have to go on Facebook Live or Instagram Live and block your face or something. Type it out in a note, screenshot it, and post it. Just give yourself the opportunity to express what it is that you really want to express. Face your fear, no matter what.
Thank you so much for that, Miss Octave. And also, if you were to meet our key stakeholders today in society, knowing the
Mm-hmm.
number of initiatives that you are trying to carry out for the Castries East area, what would you
Mm-hmm.
say to them?
Be more involved. Make time to have the conversations because we emailing you, we trying to get y'all, we trying to block y'all on the road when we see y'all. Be more involved. Make time for us. We making time for y'all. Make time for us. We don't always have to come to y'all. Look for us. When y'all see us, say, hey, you okay? You're all right. I hear you're doing something. Y'all want my help. Y'all need my help. Take the initiative. The onus is not always on the youth and it's not only on us, but I advise them to take the initiative to meet us halfway. Period.
Thanks for that ending. Of course, Miss Octal, thank you again for joining us on Your Voices. You've been very inspiring so far, and I'm pretty sure that your colleagues in the Castries East area has been
Yes,
listening
yes,
to you,
yes.
and they're very proud of you as a president, knowing that you have represented them well this afternoon. Continue to do what you do. Kudos to your
Mhm.
executive. You guys have been doing great. So I want to
Big
encourage
them up.
every one of you to remember why you even started. Keep on going. Of course, along the way, there will be a lot of hardships. You will face
Mhm.
a lot of challenges, especially if the stakeholders. Let me tell you, my girl, you might block them as much as you want. Our stakeholders know how to jump. But again, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. It was great having such a great conversation with you. And as you
Most
go out
welcome.
through the community and our country by extension, continue to empower our young people for peace, unity, and a safer society. So, of course, again, thank you for joining us. To those of you listening to us via radio, logged
Mhm.
in on Facebook, logged in with YouTube as well. Thank you for staying tuned in to your voices this afternoon. We do appreciate you for always being present and wanting to listen to what our young persons have to say. And so this is where we end this afternoon with another episode of Your Voices. I am your host, Miss Edisa Eugene, and it was definitely a pleasure being in studio with you today. Have a great afternoon.
Soufriere Jazz is back on Sunday, May 7th, 2023. The perfect vibe with the perfect setting under the Beators. Chaz, Semi, Arthur Alaire, Boo Hinkson, headliner Christopher Martin,
Don't let me cheat on my girlfriend.
and soca sensation Patrice Roberts.
I don't drink water and mind my business.
tickets 100 EC. Tickets cost 130 EC and VIP tickets 300 EC. Get your tickets at all sale outlets, Steve Barbershop, and the Sophia Regional Development Foundation. Follow Sophia Jazz the Experience on Facebook for more information.
Children under 12 are free. No smoking allowed.
Welcome to Youth Voices with your host, Miss Edisa Eugene, where we focus on youth advocacy, youth empowerment in academics, entrepreneurship, sports, marginalized youth, and more. Tune in every Thursday from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. Youth Month 2022. Devant un somme et toute jeunesse. Evolve. Growing youth for an inclusive and transformed society. Are you ready?
When